So here we go. Good evening, everyone. Hope we had a fantastic day. We are gonna be looking at the outlook for this week. We had quite a slow weekend. Thursday and Friday wasn't really as we want anticipated. The week wasn't as volatile as we thought it would be, considering the amount of news that we anticipated, that we saw, we experienced. So, what all the same, some of us got some good wins. So right now, what I'm gonna do, we're gonna go into this the outlook for the week that we're coming into, and as usual, we're gonna start with looking at uh, Forest Factory, just to have an idea of what news to expect this week, because like we know, the news really determines how volatile the market would be. How much liquidity that we would see in the market. So starting on Monday, Monday is going to be a bit slow. It's really not much happening on Monday. So the only medium impact news that we'll have will be the one on 7:45 a.m. That's GMT. FOMC member Mester speaks. So, but it's not really a critical news. Remember, we always look at the high impact news. So the first one we have is on Tuesday, which is the AUD news. And I know we are trading the GBP AUD at the moment. And some of us are trading the AUD USD news pair as well. So that would offer some good movement in the market. Same Tuesday, 9 a.m. would see GBP news. It's a good one for us because that would help GBP CAD, GBP USD, GBP AUD, and every other GBP pair that we are looking at. So it would that would also help us to move the markets forward, so as to give us a good winning as well. By 10, there's another news. So just 30 minutes after that, we have another GBP news. A good thing. So by 1:30 p.m., all of this, mind you, these are all GMT time frames. You can come here to the top right here corner of this page and go to this area to find your own time zone, and that would put that for you. So I'm going to go back to my time frame now. So Tuesday, we've seen that a number of GBP news, and then we have the USD news. Oh, sorry, I missed am I in the right place? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so this is where I'm supposed to be. So on Tuesday we have that happening. Then by 1 p.m. we have the USD news. So that should help our GBP USD that we are looking at, and the USD CAD and USD GBY for some of us that are still in that trade or probably looking forward to trading that. On Wednesday we have starting out with an EUD news, which is a good one for us, and then the Euro news by 1 p.m. Some of us that are still looking at the Euro CAD, it will be a good one for us there. Have USD news as well around 1:30 p.m. Wednesday just really looks like a very good day because we have a number of news releases. We have chef news as well. I know some of us are still doing the USD chef and Euro chef as well. So it would offer some good movements in the market in those pairs. Thursday we have AUD news. Now, looking at this, you can see we have a lot more AUD news this coming week. So just if we're still looking at the GBP AUD, just an AUD USD, just be on the alert, because those pairs would really offer some good liquidity this week that we're going to get into. Then we have the NZD news as well. Though we don't really trade this pair, NZD pair, in a platform, but yeah, we'll see some good movement in the market for NZD pairs as well. On Friday, last Friday we had CAD news, which offers some good movements as well. So this week again is CAD news release also coming. So just also watch that as in the afternoon, 1:30 p.m. as well. So now just going to take us to the different pairs that we will be considering. Based on that, I think I'm going to have to use the trading view today, so we can just really get used to using it as well. So I'll start out with the GBP pairs. I think I'm going to probably clear. I didn't want to have to clear. Let me see. Let me use it. I don't want to have to clear, but it's no problem. So I can clear all my charts on there. So you know how we do it. Come to the weekly. So first identify key areas on the chart. So you choose your horizontal tool, find out where's the market at this point, and then find out where it is going to as well. Let me see. This tool is supposed to just when you choose that tool is supposed to help you use a particular tool over and over again without having to click it again. So you can do that. Do this. So I can find another area here. I believe by now everyone knows how we identify zones. That's based on structure and based on different supports and resistance areas. You know, if you see a price come to a particular area and retest that area over and over again, it's a key area. If you see price break a particular zone and comes and retest it, that is structure. So you need to identify that, because the same thing happened here. Look at it, broke this, came back and retested it. That structure, another thing, came back and retested it. That structure also became some form of resistance, you know, because initially it was support, and support became resistance. The same thing happened here. See, it broke out of here, came back and retested it, so resistance became support. So it's a key support structure area. And if you notice this as well, which also is a key resistance area, because there's the test here, there's a test here as well. So that's how we identify our zones. And mind you, I'm on the higher time frame, so I will always use that to identify where the trend is going, what the trend really is. Right now, we can see that it's this is looking like a pullback. You know how we say we call things pullback as long as it hasn't taken the previous low. You know, like now look at this, it's making higher highs and higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And as long as it hasn't come in to take out all of the lows, it is still a valid pullback. Now you can also see this from using your Fibonacci as well, just to confirm what we're saying. As long as it hasn't come back to the 100%, it is still a valid uptrend. Right now, it is presently at the 38 VIP level, so there's no reason for us to believe that this is going down. This is reversing. So presently, it broke out of structure. It broke out of this structure. It retested it, and it continued going up. Broke out of here, came back and retested it. You know, so we believe that it's probably going to keep going on So, but whatever be the case, we won't trade unless we find a good confirmation for this trade for every time we want to enter it. So I'm just going to delete this for now. Where are you? That's the button. Okay, take this off. So now I bring myself down to the lower time frame just to see other key areas that may be available for trading. Oops, let me delete that. This needs to go. So, so right now you can see. Excuse me. Now that's what happens when you click. When you do use this item, you have to remember to take it out. So right now, as you can see, there are these levels. I can easily move them, just to be able to capture the levels that I identified initially very well. Okay, so you see structure, you see what it is. Okay, so I can easily move this one just to capture it properly. We know what this is all about. As it broke structure, came back and retested, we would only take this trade if and only if we see a good confirmation to the upside or to the downside. But presently, what can be anticipated is this. Since price broke out of this structure, it came back, retested it, and jumped up and went all the way to the moon, then came back and retested it. We will not sell yet, we will not buy yet unless we see some form of confirmation. And what kind of confirmation are we looking for? We're looking for maybe like a kind of like a pull up to the, looking for a bullish engulfing candle to the upside, or maybe like a after that good movement to the upside, we see like a flag, kind of like a flag, something like this, These are some of the things you may want to look for when you want to take a position. Maybe something like this, So this would give you a confirmation to take it to the upside. Let me fix this because I'm going to use that for a while. So you probably might be looking for something like this. Yep. So you'll, number one, you could be looking for a pull up to a jump up to the upside, maybe an engulfing candle. An engulfing candle, an example of an engulfing candle, a large candle, to the upside, a bullish looking candle to the upside, a large one, so you can enter on two methods. Either you do it aggressively or you do it conservatively. A conservative entry will be that after you've noticed an engulfing candle, you enter on the close of that engulfing candle, a bullish engulfing candle to the upside. So immediately that candle closes, that will be your entry. A more conservative entry will be to wait till you see like a pullback, a good pullback, a good something like this, either a flag or a triangle, maybe something like that, or something like this. That's one. Let me delete something like this. Something like this. Then you can enter on the breakout of that. Excuse me. Let me delete all of this so it's not doesn't look so. Okay. So that's, you may be waiting to see something like this. So a kind of a triangle forming somewhere here. So you enter on that breakout of that triangle. So those are the two things. You could enter this maybe more conservative entry, because if you enter from there, you are sure to at least walk home with how much. Okay, if it takes you back up there, you're sure to walk home with at least 350 pips. Yeah, but then don't forget that we have a smaller level here, so you also have to put that into consideration when trading. Remember, we trade not only the higher time, but also look at the lower time frame. So that may be one of your levels, one of your entries. If I go back, you would see how it aligns with other levels here as well. So this may be one of your first TP, and then this will be your second TP. Yep. So something to pay attention to. But if that thing doesn't happen to the upside like that, the next one we'll be looking for is something similar to this, to the downside. Maybe like a breakout of this, a breakout, a pullback to the upside. Either a pullback to the upside, a flag to the upside, then a drop. Then we can trade it. Let me put that. Yep. Either a pullback to the upside, a retest, and you can enter on that. A more conservative entry will be to wait for this flag to happen, either a flag or like we did on this other side, a triangle. Then you can take that trade. But the aggressive entry will be to enter on, remember when we took the USD card trade, if we didn't need to wait for that pull back and retest, come back and retest of that zone, we would have entered the trade immediately after we saw an engulfing candle, a bearish engulfing candle. For that USD card was a bullish engulfing candle we'll be looking for. For that one, for this particular one, we're looking for bearish engulfing candle. A bearish engulfing candle is a large candle that engulfs the previous candle before it. Show you an example of that. Let me see if I can find one here. Excuse me. I have to take this off now. So let's go. Let me see if I can find an engulfing candle. Now, this is an example of an engulfing candle. This candle right here. It's an example of an engulfing candle. Let me make this bigger so you can see what I mean. Why do we call it an engulfing candle? Because if you can see, it's a giant candle to the downside and it's totally engulfing this one. It closes, let me say, yeah, it closes below the previous candle. It's a large candle and it closes below the previous candle. So this is a confirmation for us to trade the downside. So you could enter a trade when this one closes and you take your TP target on the next level. The next level will be this level here. Then if it breaks that level and continues down, then you take your TP on the next level it gets to. For this one, if we are taking this trade, this probably will have fetched us how many pips? Let's see. So we'll have taken our TP on this level. That will be 128 pips. Won't have waited until it got this low. Probably take our TP target on this first, the touch of this level, which is 128 pips. So that's an example of what they call it, an aggressive entry. You wait for. Oh, hold on. That's a more conservative entry. Why? Because it broke out and came back and retested, and you entered. You can enter on the touch of this, or you can wait to see this. A more aggressive entry will be to wait on this zone. The moment it breaks it, if you go to the lower time frame right now, if I take you to probably the 4 hour or the 1 hour, you can look for even more engulfing candles at that zone. Let me see if I can find it before we move away from this one. So let me see any other engulfing candle that I could find. Okay, so there was really no, well, this would have been a good engulfing candle to enter the trade in this particular candle right here. Remember, it has to close, that candle, engulfing candle has to close below your previous candle. So this would have been a good trade. Either we enter here, some people would have entered on this retest here, drop and retest, or you wait to see an engulfing candle broke out and then came back. You waited and you never saw an engulfing candle in any of this, then you don't take the trade. This was the first engulfing candle we saw because it totally engulfed the previous candle. So you could have taken your trade here, or you waited till the market or price came back to this level itself. You can take your trade at that point. So these are just examples of how you enter the market. So if you had entered the market at that point, yeah, probably will have just gotten your TPs maybe somewhere around here. How much for about, like I said, yeah, the first your low, the previous low will be your first TP. Maybe this would have given you how much? 49.50 pips. So you get out of the market till you probably map out your next level based on your level. Next target based on your level. But this very first one will be the previous low that you have in the market for 50 pips. So for this one, this trade, I'm looking to take this trade, but I would only take this trade if I get that confirmation to the downside, like we have just looked at. Yeah, so this one is broken out back into that level. I would only take it if I see like a flag, a triangle forming. This is beginning to form like a triangle anyway. I mean, like a pullback. So if I see a good pullback or a retest of this zone, then I would take this trade. But without that, I'm not going to take this trade yet. The same thing applies to the downside. If I see it breaks out of this zone, then I see a good flag form or a retest or a triangle, or I get in on an engulfing candle itself, then my target will be the previous low, and then my next target will be the previous level, which I have identified before I started trading. These levels that we identified, from the higher time frame. You can identify more levels when you come here. Right now, there are more levels on this area, that you can identify. This is another level. That's another level. We'll see this as a level as well. This may be good short levels for you. 50 pips, 40 pips. For some people that have that scalp. Yep. So that's GBP CAD. So the next one I have is GBP AUD. Back to my weekly time frame. You know how we roll. We need to go there and make sure we see good levels. So I'll pick that up, use my this magnifier. I don't know if it's called it. Yeah, it's a pen lock too. Let's see what you can see. So I can use that to find my levels. Keep drawing my horizontal line. That's where the price is at this point in time. So I can identify another level, another level, another level. This is another level actually. Why? Because you see price keeps turning back from it. Yep. Now, even from this, what I'm seeing here, let me move this a bit upward. From what I'm seeing here, I can even see a trend forming here. You can see this with me. There's a trend forming here, which is a very good indication for me that this thing is making higher highs and higher lows. So now if you look closely, if you come closely, you will see that something is happening here. This market broke out of that trend that was forming and is showing signs of rejection of the upside. You can see these pins being formed on this and this oops, let me not move that. You can see these pins forming to the upside. Those are rejections. I think they call them twister tops or something, for those of you that know candles very well. So this is an example of rejections, a reason for us to believe that this might continue coming down, but not a problem. We would only take trades when we see confirmations. So right now, right now we can see confluence happening. You can see a touch of this level. This is a key level, because you can see what price is doing. A touch, broke, and it's here. It's probably retested here, but something may happen because this may be a good structure to trade. We might say it's a good structure to trade. A break above, a retest, and maybe like it might keep going up, but we can't confirm that until we see we get some good confirmation for us to trade it. But anyway, we don't trade the weekly time frame, so we'll have to bring it down to the smaller time frame. But presently, this is what we can identify on the higher time frame. This is a key resistance level, a key structural level. If you go back, you will see that it has some reactions are still happening around that level. So now I'm going to come down to my smaller time frame to see what I can see there. So my daily, yep, this is what I'm seeing on my daily. So two things may be happening here. Price broke out, forming some. This could, if care is not taken, it might actually be trying to form a double bottom for us down here. So maybe on the smaller time frame, we may see it clearly. Let me see what happens on the H4 now. Yep, this is what we are seeing on the smaller time frame. Let's see if I can increase this. Okay. Yeah, TradingView has always been a challenge for me. So I'm just I want to make sure I start using it because I know a number of us are using it, so we can get used to it. So you see, if I were to follow my rules for trading double bottoms, I would not want to take this trade because this has cancelled out this first leg. Normally, remember what I say about double bottoms, they have to be like this one. Excuse me. Let me click this. They have to be like this. They have to do this, then, excuse me, do this, and then do this. So I would not take a trade if, excuse me, I would not take a trade if this bottom, where is it now? Okay. I won't take a trade if this bottom comes somewhere like this, does something like this. It's lower than what it should be. So that means that it's taking out this one. It's taking out this previous bottom. I will only take a trade if this bottom is longer than this bottom or on the same level as that bottom. But once this second bottom breaks it and does something like this, I would count it as invalid. But again, I would only do another thing is that I won't even really mind. Excuse me, let me just take all of this out of the way. Trade a lot of it. Sorry. I'll try to draw less lines so don't spend the session. Oops. Lines. So yeah, the only other reason why I would take this trade is if I can see something like this happen. This comes up here, then does this, then I can take my trade. Remember, this is always my rule for taking double bottoms or head and shoulders, and it will almost always come back, break this low here, this high here, then come back and retest it, then I will ride it to the top. So if we're going to take this trade, this is what we'll be looking out for. This may well be a false breakout. Remember that trend line that we looked at earlier. Look at this. This was another example of a breakout that didn't really follow through. Broke out and jumped back in. So this could be a false breakout as well, but we would only take it if and only if it breaks out of this zone. You see the two zones that we have, very key zone. If it breaks out of here, we see a bearish engulfing candle breaking out of that zone. We can enter the trade, or we can wait to see a retest of that zone, either forming a flag It's like the other guy, like the other one I was showing you, or forming a triangle, or forming a triangle, whichever one it forms, but would always enter when it breaks out of that triangle and we will write it to the downside. Write it to the downside. First of all, your first TP will be the previous low. Will be somewhere around here. That will be your first TP, or will be where you enter your second position, and then your next one will be probably here, or you drive down to your lower time frame to find different levels that you can, either TP or increase your position sizes. Like if I come to the left, I can see level here that I can increase my position size. Yep. So that's that one. That's GBP AUD. But I know with the news that is coming, we can really see good movements in the market. So this is one other level that you want to also look at if you want to trade it. But excuse me, let me take that off. If I want to follow this critically, if I bring this up here, this may be a good level for me because of that, retest happening there. So that may be a good level for me to either trade this to a bullish engulfing candle to the upside, or a break above and a flag forming there will be a good indication for me to enter this trade. Either retest here, or a flag forming somewhere here. Remember how we trade patterns. Flag, or a triangle, whichever one, then we trade that. The next level will be this one here. Yep. And then if it breaks above that and then comes back to retest it, that will be another entry. I will take it to the upside. Normally, I don't trade double bottoms like this, but I'm trying to bend my rules a little bit so I don't miss the move. That USD CAD move that happened sometime last week was a good what's it called? A good push for me to try to look for early entries. I don't have to wait for that this retest to happen. As long as I see a bullish engulfing candle or bearish engulfing candle confirmation, I can take that trade and ride it to the next level. Yep. So like I said, we're constantly improving our strategies to win the market more. So that's GBP AUD. The next one we want to look at is GBP USD. The reason why I'm just going through this, we will still go through them. We will still look at them in the charts together. We'll still look at them in the charts. We won't let everyone just stay and then be on their own. Everyone will still going to be looking at the charts so that we can see opportunities and take advantage of them before they pass us by. So now look at this one. That's Euro USD, GBP USD. See what's happening here. That formed a very neat double top, sweet double top. See what happened there. Kept doing higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and this was a good reversal pattern. So as long as you see a double top, that's a good indication for you to trade that trade. So if we wanted to do this aggressively, if we wanted to enter this pair aggressively, it would have been on the close. Remember that rule, closing of your engulfing candle. So if we were to trade this, we'll have waited for this candle to close. Excuse me. Let me bring this here. So look at this candle. See how large it is, and again, it closed below your previous candle. So this would have been a very good trade to enter on this side, and then you can take it to the next support level. But first of all, let me see. These are the different levels that are here right now. It's another level. Another level. Then maybe this one, because you can see. Okay, maybe this one as well. Let me see if I find another one. before then. Yeah, okay, there's this one. There's this one too. Okay. So if I was to trade this one, I probably will have entered this trade on this level after the close of this candle, because this is a good sweet engulfing candle. Then my TP will be on the neck of this double top, yep, which would be how many pips if I entered it. Yeah, from here down here, that would have been a whooping 210 11 pips. 211 pips. Yep. And then I can, if it breaks below here, look for another engulfing candle or some other form of confirmation to be able to, let me take this off again, to be able to take that trade to the downside. Yep. So, but now it's fine. We have missed that. I know some of us took this trade, but right now we want to look for ways to enter this particular one. This can take us back to the upside or break below here and bring us to the downside, but we would only enter when we get a good confirmation. So I bring it down to the daily time frame right now. So let's see what's happening on the daily. Let's come to daily. So presently it's showing indecision to the upside, decision to the downside, but not a problem. The market is still there. What we can do right now is to draw trend line around it or a box around it, just to box it up so we don't miss its move. So this is presently what we're having. That's what we may be facing right now. Not a problem. This as well. So whatever it does, it won't. We are not really worried about it. We're only gonna trade it when we get confirmation. This is what we're getting right now. So what we want to see, we want to see a breakout to the upside. Let me see if we can find a candle, a pattern setup for that entry. Let's see here. Let's see. Where are you? Okay, it's an example of something. You see the way this is. It's expanding. So once it breaks out, our TP would take our targets some until well, there's a measurement between here and there, but we won't really need to wait to get to that level. We can take our TP quite early. Let me see if there are others. Oh, let me see. Okay, this is another example. This is another example of what we might be witnessing in GBP USD now. So you see that move. So once it breaks out, we're looking for a breakout. So the breakout, we'll take our first TP maybe down here, or whatever level that we find that we've identified on the charts. There's an example here. So that's what's happening. So that's an example of what is happening. So if it breaks out to the upside, what are we looking for to confirm that we should take this trade? Yes, you guessed it, an engulfing candle, either a bullish engulfing candle to the upside. If we see that happen to the upside, we can take that trade, and then where is that? So see that breakout, a bullish engulfing candle, or maybe one candle breaks out and another candle that is engulfing it breaks out. We can take that trade, and our TP, our target will be probably I'm not sure how far the bearish engulfing candle is going to be, but we're just going to look for that. It may give us at least 100 pips if that happens. Right now, yes, there's a lot of indecision happening here, so we would only wait to see a clear breakout before, and a clear candle, clear bullish engulfing candle, or a clear flag when we see it happen. Might break out, and then if it does something like this, either retest of that zone or some form of flag formation, or some form of triangle, like we said, some form of triangle, then we can take that trade and ride it to the downside. So these are what we're looking for with this particular pair. So Euro USD. And again, remember we're also working with in tandem to what is happening with the USD dollar, the US dollar. So if that is coming down, we know that this is definitely going to keep going up. If that is going up, this is going to keep coming down. So work with the two of them, work with your technical and with your fundamental as well. So they complement each other. So what is there in Euro USD? Kind of similar to what we're seeing in GBP USD at the moment. So, but first of all, we have to identify our levels, our key levels. So we'll see that. Why? Because you can see this. You can see those retest. So these are good resistance level, and which also became a structural level because you see that breakout. You see that retest happened there. Can identify this. Yeah. So okay, let me pick this one first. Then when I go to the smaller time frame, see what's in it for me there. Well, these levels are just too close together. Yep, but it's all good. We'll go to the smaller time frame. See this one. We had that consolidation happen for a while, before the market finally broke out to the downside. Took out the previous lows, took out this low. So right now we are expecting this to continue bearish. If it does, we would let me go to the smaller time frame to see what's happening. So right now I can find my level somewhere here. Why? Because I can see this happen. That tests these reactions around here. That breakout retest, then a resistance here, and then breakout resistance and became support structure. And then what happened? Came back and retested it, jumped up and broke to the downside, came back and retested it. So this may be a very good trade for us at the moment now, because right now it's showing signs of retesting that level. So this may be a good trade. So if you want to take this trade, probably when the market opens, you can look to either sell this trade. And if you sell this, but you would only sell this, remember, only sell this when you get a confirmation. What I will be looking for right now, a bearish engulfing candle. And that bearish engulfing candle has to totally engulf this previous candle. It needs to come out and close below this candle here, right here, before I can sell it. So if I sell it, where would be my TP? My TP would be this previous low. Yep, would be this previous low. This would be my TP. For how many pips is that? Let me see. If I enter, let's say it's somewhere around here, my bearish engulfing candle will be somewhere around here. That will give me a total of how much? Yep, not very bad. About 80 pips, 75 pips. I'm out of the market to look for another breakout. Yep, take this out. So yep, for this particular trade, what am I waiting for? Waiting for an engulfing candle to form here. If I see that engulfing candle, I'm gonna take the trade TP somewhere here. If it breaks this zone, I'm gonna wait for another, either an engulfing candle or a retest of that level. Excuse me. A retest of that level. Then I'll ride it to the downside. To this downside. Let me bring this up. So that's what I'm looking for right now in the market. But if this market continues to be bullish, not a problem. I'm not going to enter until I see a good confirmation. The confirmation will be to break out. Either let it break out close above, then I enter on the engulfing candle to the upside I'm going to see, or I wait for a retest to that level, or I wait for a flag, or I wait for a pennant. That's the triangle. any triangle that I can see, then I ride it to the upside. Ride it to the upside. So, but if I don't find such, I wouldn't have any reason trading that way. You can also come down to your lower time frame to look for better entries. Let me see this because I think this market has already started forming. Let me see. Okay, so look at what is happening here. One might say, okay, maybe this is actually going to be like a double, a head and shoulder, an inverted head and shoulder forming here. Yep. So this was a good engulfing candle, bearish engulfing candle, but it's tricky. Why is it tricky? Because it's actually outside our zone. Yep. Unless, of course, we are saying that our zone is not correct, but then I would only take this if this offers some form of uncertainty. So I would watch it before I take it. I could have taken this straight to the downside, but for this zone here, this level here, it may be a trick. I may not have written this properly, because if I did this, what happened to all of this? Yep. So it's a tricky one. So this is what I identified on my higher time frame. I will wait till I get a better confirmation. So the upside, it looks like a good trade, because yeah, this might be forming. It's looking like it's forming a head and shoulder. See that shoulder? The shoulder, a breakout to the upside, a retest of that shoulder. This, looking at it critically, it might actually be giving me a good signal to buy this market. But again, I would only buy it if I get a good confirmation. If tested here, I can jump in if the market comes in, then put my stop loss, jump in on a sell, on a buy, sorry, because of that retest, then put my stop loss somewhere around here. Previous low, this is my previous low, somewhere around here. Yep. So, but I won't be looking to sell this market now until I get a good confirmation, but I can look to buy it if I want to. If I want to take an aggressive entry, I can look to buy this. My stop loss will be somewhere around here. Then buy it to the upside. I'm sorry, buy it. I can buy it to my first previous high here, which will be my first TP. Then the next TP will be here, or my measured move as well. Because if I measure it from here down here, whatever is that information, put it across, take it from here, and if you look at it, it's almost at our previous level. So that will be my final TP, my second TP. First TP somewhere around here, this very first one. Then my next TP will be somewhere around here. Yep. And then my stop loss would be previous low, either this one or this one down here. That's a lot. If this is going to be your final TP, then you might as well just make your stop loss somewhere around here, and then you buy this market to the upside. So this might be a trade I might be looking to enter when the market opens. But yes, watch that critically. Let me see if how much more time we have. Okay, just a few minutes. Let me see. Let me look at USD CAD instead. USD CAD. Let's see what the market is doing right now. In fact, this was supposed to be a very sweet market that we've been watching, but for some reason it kind of just gave us a few pips and and went away. So let's identify our levels. It was a very sweet double bottom. That, and then what it didn't really continue like we thought it would. But it's all good. Market would do what it would do. Price would do what it would do. With no apologies. So let me see. Okay, let's see the smaller time frame. Let's see what we have. Okay. So your double bottom, where is it? Okay, because this is a level right now. That's a key level, other level. What else? I might as well take this as a level because price turned back at that point. Okay, so to be able to take this trade, what else we will be looking for? This is where price is currently at. Yep, on the daily. This is where it's currently at. If at this point I see a flag form from here, I can write this, but then I would only write it if it breaks this low. So for instead of actually seeing a flag, what I can do is this: I can wait to see a breakout. Let me wait to see a breakout to the downside and a retest of structure. Support became resistance. Then I can write it to the downside to here. Or previously, I'll write it to my previous previous low, which would be somewhere around here. Okay, there's another one here. So this might be my first TP, or here, because I know it's gonna, if it broke that before, it's probably gonna break it again. So I can make that my first TP. Then my second TP will be here. Yep. So it's entirely up to you what you want to do, or where you might want to make if you want to make your first TP here, or you want to make that your next entry level. It's entirely up to you. And then if this keeps going up, so if this, I'm going to wait for it to come back here, because right now it's probably left this level, it's already making its way back up. So it's all good. I'm going to let it come back to this level. Then I can look for my entry to the downside, or wait for it to break and retest or form a flag, or an engulfing candle. Then I can jump into write it to the top here. Yep. So this is a good trade to look forward to, because I've always loved USD CAD. So I will really be watching this trade, and whatever I see, definitely all of these pairs that I have here, I'm going to be looking at them, and I'll be giving us updates on which ones are ripe for entry and which ones we should still be watching out for. So just keep watching, and then keep drawing out your own charts as well, your own biases and analysis as well, so that we can all confirm. Euro USD, what's happening here? But before that, USD JPY. This was the trade we were looking at on Friday. Was it on Friday or on Thursday? Yep. We never liked USD anymore because it started messing up. It just couldn't get consistent. It just kept going all over the place. So we stopped looking at it. But I think with what we're having right now, we may get some good reactions. But let me see. So right now, we might actually be seeing maybe like a double bottom, head and shoulder forming. We saw that drop, and okay, let me put it here instead. Yeah, we have that. We have this one as well. Yeah, I have something like this as well. Yeah. So we have that shoulder, this shoulder. We have this other shoulder as well. So what I want to see now, let me see. Let me draw that out. Maybe that would be better. So I have that drop. I have that shoulder. Yep, that's about the shoulder. Then I have that head, very giant looking head. Then I have that head, that shoulder, that shoulder. Yep. So what I want to see now, I want to see this break to the upside, retest that zone, and then I can ride it to that level, or just ride it to any other level that I find. Normally I would do a measured move, but okay, which would be from here to this level, Then my TP, my final TP would be from here to that side. But that's very ambitious, so I wouldn't even bother, because if it did, this is what I should be looking at as my TP, which is at that zone, this zone right here. You can see it if everything were equal. It's a key level, to be honest, really. So it's a very key level. So that would be my final TP, but for short term, it will bring me back into this level as well. So my short term TP would be this level. As you can see, it's the key level as well. So if I see a breakout to the upside, breakout, a retest of that level, then I'll TP here. Otherwise, I'm just going to let this ride back down. If it comes back to this level, then I'll look for an entry. An entry would be either an entry to right to the top would be an engulfing candle again. I will wait to see an engulfing candle to the upside, then I'll enter on an aggressive. If not, I'll wait to see a flag forming or a pennant, a triangle forming somewhere around here, then I can look for an entry to take me to that upside. Yep. If not, if that doesn't happen, again, I'll wait for a breakout to the downside, an engulfing candle forming, coming down, then another candle, an engulfing candle coming out, from it, engulfing the previous candle, then I can trade it to the downside. Or again, wait for a breakout, wait for a retest. Wait for a retest. It doesn't have to be this low. It could just be something like this, and then I can take it to the downside. Or a flag or a pennant. Same principle. So if it breaks out of this here as well, I can wait for that candle to break out. Then I wait for another engulfing candle, an engulfing candle to engulf that. I can take that aggressively, or I wait for breakout, a retest of structure. Yep, and then it dropped to the downside. Either that or a flag or a pennant. I will keep doing this over and over again on our different charts so that we can get used to the strategy, to the process. Yep. So that's finally, I'm just gonna jump into AUD USD just to give it a look at to see what I know for some of us that are still trading this. Now, I told you for this particular pair, this was a pair that we loved so much because we traded it from the upside when it started this move, and we traded it down here. We thought it was going to actually we traded it down here before it fell even lower. We thought it was going to keep going up, but it fell lower. But it's not an issue. We would only take a trade when we see a confirmation. So right now you can see it doing all of that higher highs and higher lows. This is where this price is, but we don't really need that area. So have that. Oops. Have this. Have that. Have that. This. I'll keep this here. Yep. So right now, see that rejection happening there, showing us that that could mean that either this might come down a bit more. It's really giving us signs that it's going to come down more, but again, only take a trade when we see a confirmation. So now look at what happened here. Broke down, broke off structure, retested, dropped a bit. So if you had entered this, maybe probably will have looked for there's no engulfing candle right now in any one of this. But if you had gone to the smaller time frame to look for engulfing, probably have rode it to the downside somewhere around here, and then to taking your profit. Because what happened, it jumped back up to retest it. Yep, it retested it and dropped an engulfing candle. See that engulfing candle? This one here, right here. So this would have been our trade. After that retest, this is an engulfing candle. So we would have entered on this engulfing candle. So sometimes some people jump in. We used to jump in on this first one. Immediately tests this one, we jump in. But it's been nice to wait to get this engulfing candle that totally engulfs the previous candle. Then we can jump in on that trade. And then our TP will be the next level, which would be this. The moment this touches this level, that's our TP. Yeah. Now, if you look at this, this would have been a good trade as well. Why? Because at that point, that engulfing candle totally engulfs the previous one, even though it was at this level. But we wouldn't have anyway taken the trade. Why? Because we would have paid attention, been wary of this level. Because anytime price is at the key level, structural level, we don't take a trade. We wait till we get a clear breakout. Yep. So if you look at this, it broke out of this. We took our profit and waited for it to do this. It broke out of it, retested it, and dropped again. An engulfing candle. See that? Another engulfing candle. So this would have been our entry again, because you see, it broke out, retested, then dropped an engulfing candle. Look at that, it totally engulfed this one. This would have been our trade, and we entered on the close. This giant candle here would have been our TP. How many pips? And we entered here. Come on. Yep. 80 pips. Not bad, not bad. Next. Give me that. Yep. So that's our trade right there. What happened again? You see this? It came back, it retested that zone again. What are we looking for this time around to take this trade again? You guessed it. Something like this, an engulfing candle. An engulfing candle. If you see an engulfing candle here, we will take this trade. We will trade it, and our first TP will be where? Our first TP, you guessed it, the previous low. This one right here. So it's close to this one, but we'll take our first TP here, probably a second TP somewhere here, or a second entry position, whatever. But then, as long as it's somewhere around here, don't hold it down. Just either take your profit and wait, or move your stop loss to entry. So right now, what are we waiting for? Waiting for an engulfing candle to form here, and then we can take the trade. Or if that doesn't happen, although we're seeing a rejection now, if that doesn't happen, we jump to, and this thing jumps to the upside. Good thing. We won't chase it. We won't chase it. We will wait till it comes up, and then maybe comes back down to retest that, or puts out a flag. Yep. Or puts out a triangle, a pennant. Then we will trade it to the upside to take our profit where? The previous level, previous high, which will be somewhere around here. Our first TP will be somewhere around here, and then we can take our next TP somewhere around here. If and only if it breaks above. By that time, you would have had your stop loss moved into profit. So those are the pairs that we will be looking at this week. Again, we would look at these pairs together. I would draw them out myself. When I see them forming, I'm going to be looking at each and every one of them. But remember what my advice is always: pick a pair or two and just concentrate on them. That way you can easily see the movements, so you don't miss any kind of movement at all from the pair. Because if you have a lot of them to look at, you might miss them when they move. Like, we know that we're looking for pairs here, entries here, we're looking for entries. But if you're looking to enter every one of these pairs, you're going to miss them when they happen, because some of them may happen simultaneously. So just pick one or two and then concentrate, and then you won't miss any of the moves. All right, I hope there was some form of value tonight in the pair. Let me stop the recording before I take any questions.